Beginning in Vectorworks 2015, we've added new Vectorworks preferences to control the default render mode and projection options. These options can be found in the Vectorworks preferences by going to the Tools menu, then Options, and Vectorworks Preferences. Switch to the 3D tab to adjust these options. Currently, the render mode, when changing from top plan to a 3D view, is set to OpenGL. You can choose between Wireframe and OpenGL. With OpenGL enabled, anytime you change from a top plan view to any 3D view, your file will be rendered in OpenGL. The first time a view change occurs, Vectorworks will render all visible objects in OpenGL. The more complex the file, the longer the initial view change and render will take. However, after this initial render, view changes will be much faster and no re-rendering is required. In addition to setting a default render mode, you can also choose a default projection setting. In previous versions of Vectorworks, the default projection setting was always orthogonal. With this setting, objects are shown undistorted in 3D views. They appear at their exact size regardless of the distance from the active layer plane. You can choose from orthogonal, narrow perspective, normal perspective, or wide perspective projection settings. The perspective projection options add distortion to the drawing so objects that are farther away appear smaller than objects that are closer. These views closely approximate how the 3D model would display in the real world. If you choose normal perspective, this projection will be used by default when switching from top plan to any 3D view. When using a perspective projection, there is an additional document setting that controls whether or not the view is cropped. Previous versions of Vectorworks used a crop perspective view. This displayed 3D perspective views within a clipping frame. Crop perspective is a document preference setting, allowing you to choose a different option per file. When opening files from previous versions of Vectorworks that only had a crop perspective option, you will find that this option is on by default. New documents will use the uncropped perspective setting by default. Adjusting these settings will allow you to customize view settings for your needs. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to visit kbase.vectorworks.net for more video tech tips and other technical info. Thank you, and have a great day.